In this section, we're going to discuss creating objects. A class is a description of what an object will know and what it will do. The class itself is just a description, a definition. It's written by the programmer and it's source code. The compiler uses this class description to know how much memory to get, how to initialize an object, how to manipulate an object, etc. The object lives in memory. The class lives in your source file, but the compiler uses the information from the source file to create the memory version. Once an object is created in memory or instantiated and initialized, it can begin behaving by having methods called on it. They will manipulate or compute or do something with that object and return results in most cases. Objects can talk to each other. And in fact, that's amazing. That's an amazing piece of object-oriented programming, is having one object talk to another to help it solve a problem. And again, objects are instances of classes, and classes are new data types. So we would expect data types to be able to interact with each other and get information. Here's an observation that helps to keep things clear. Think of the code in main as a client, that is somebody other than yourself who is going to use your data type that you've created. The client does not need to know about the details of the class, only how to use it, the methods available to him, and how that is expected to help him solve a problem. Clients think in terms of a problem domain. They have something they're solving and they need to use this new class to help them solve it. They don't care about the internals. They don't care about the implementation. They just want to have answers. An example here is square root method. There are different approximation methods for computing the square root. None of us really care. When we call the square root method on the math class, we expect to get back the result of the square root of the number we asked it to compute. That's all. We just want the answer. A class is written by a programmer, therefore it is in a source file. The code is saved on the disk with a .java extension. In it is a description of all the class and other information needed by the compiler to solve the problem. Two options exist for combining new classes with client code. We can put the code in the same file. The new class can be in the same source file as the class with the main method that's running our client code. If this is done, then the new class that we're writing cannot have the public keyword. Just leave it off and that's fine, because Java has a restriction that each source file can have at most one public class. The class with the main method has to be public. A more difficult to manage approach is to put each class in its own separate source file in the same subdirectory. The problem with that is that you have to zip the files together to submit them. For this class, I recommend that you put new class definitions in the same source file with the main method. Just leave the public keyword off.